Hi everyone. Today in this video I'll discuss the difference between DFA and NFA. That means DFA it is a deterministic finite automata, and another point is it is non-deterministic push down automata. Deterministic is deterministic finite automata and non-deterministic finite automata. So what is the differences? The differences here, you can make a column like this, serial number and DFA and NFA. Find the 10 to 12 point I'll be discussing in this video. That depending on the marks will be chosen which is the best and technically strong difference, then you can write it in your exam, right? Look at that, there are 10 points have been discussed, I listed here. The first point is as usual that what is DFA they are asking, and deterministic finite automata just like this, and non-deterministic finite automata. Second point, it's a very important. For each symbolic representation of the alphabet, there is only one state transition in DFA. That means for every from one state to another state, for every input there is only one transition, right? Every input there is only one transition. That's the meaning of second point, this one, right? So whereas in NFA, so no need to specify how does the NFA react according to symbol. What does it mean here? The according to symbol. So is it there is a have a multiple transition on same symbol, it may go to the different state. That is not matters in case of NFA, whereas in DFA it matters. There is only one state transition, So that's the difference between. I'll be recap again in the second point. Every input there is exactly one transition, whereas in NFA there are multiple transition on input, same input. The third point, DFA cannot use empty string, empty transition. That means epsilon transition is not possible in case of epsilon transition in case of DFA. But whereas NFA, you can use empty string transition. That means epsilon transition is available. You can use epsilon transition. So that is a third point. This is very important. Right. So fourth point is DFA can be understood as one machine. So DFA can understand one machine for every input, right? Whereas in NFA can be understood as a multiple little machine computing at the same time, right? There are multiple machines on multiple branch of machine at the same time. You can have a multiple machine is available. You can able to compute, whereas in NFA. Whereas in DFA, there is exactly one machine computation at each time. Okay. The fifth point in this, in DFA, next possible state is distinguished set. It is always deterministic. You can predict it. What next state will be on particular particular input symbol. Whereas in NFA, each pair of state and input symbol can have many possible state, right? That means for every input, right, there is a multiple state it can go. It can go to the multiple state. So on A, it may go to different state. So it may go to Q0, this may go to Q1 on same input, it may say it is a So multiple transition is possible. On sixth point, DFA is more difficult for complex problems. It is more difficult for complex problem. In NFA is easier to construct. So it is easier to conquer any problem while using a NFA. So in this case, and seventh point, in DFA reject the string in case it terminate. So any point of time DFA, it can terminate some point of time. That means it is rejected. That is the meaning of it. That means it is been different from the accepting state. It all be landed in some intermediate state, then it can reject it. Whereas in NFA, it reject the string in event of all the branches denying or refusing a string. That means before terminating, even it can have a multiple branches in NFA. Each and every branches tested it, trace it, then when it is not will be landed of any of the branches in final state, then it can, then only it can reject it. Okay. The seventh point, time needed for executing an input string is less. In case of DFA, any input is execution takes less time as compared to the NFA. Reason is that DFA is having only one machine can execute at each time. So, but whereas in NFA, it can compute multiple machine at a time. That is the reason it takes more time as compared to DFA. So, ninth point is all DFA or NFA. That means whatever NFA is constructed which is accepted by DFA. So all DFAs are NFA, but not all NFA are DFA, right? Not all NFA are DFA. So last point is that DFA require more space as compared to NFA. So these are the major differences between NFA and DFA. So thank you. Please you have to practice based on that point. So based on the mass, you have to choose the best one of it, can write it. So last point is technically there is a transition function. In DFA, Q cross sigma to Q in DFA. The 11th point I am telling you. So another one is in whereas NFA, Q cross sigma to 2 power Q, right? 2 power Q. So this is the major difference with respect to transition function. Okay, thank you.